Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Hi, this is Irene Ratliff. Salubrias. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Estamos bien, gracias. Anyway, today is Sunday, July 13th, 2014. Sunday, July 13th, 2014. And, hey, what a gun. Anyway, my name is Irene Ratliff, Regal Street Meat Company. Street Meat Company is a community organization. And as usual, we're trying to modify things here and there. Initially I did a business plan, right? A business draft scrap. That's really what it looked like. The conversation and the business plan didn't add up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh gosh, it doesn't look like it looked. Especially with, the agreement of doing, had Kwanzaa on there because the conversation, as I explained to you about Mr. Ashuma with the Black Unity Project. But I was like, okay, well listen, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, okay, good Papa. But then I also have, that's a lot in itself. Then I look at Kite Society. A lot of these things are on there, just kind of look like it looks. So I have to modify what my blessings, what my business plan looks like. I am branching over into some other things. I don't know. It's like I was reading this Kwanzaa book, right? Because I'm copying some of the things that are of interest. That actually have some points. And I think particular Kwanzaa book is actually written by someone who is Occidental. And I don't know. I have to look. Don't give me the fibbing. But it was interesting. Some of the things that she had stated in there, or what the writer had stated, was, pretty much as I was explaining to somebody else, faith, F-A-I-T-H, is work. W-O-R-K. You must work, okay? And when we look at a lot of people, they're going out and they're doing certain things, and it wasn't that the message of Dr. Maulana Karenga was not met, because it is. A lot of people are celebrating Kwanzaa, right? And what was interesting, she said, what was written, it was that Nguzo Saba is a way of life. And you know that I said that Nguzo Saba is the house of life. I was like, wow, that's interesting, because it is. But he did not advocate how people need to get, the advocation was not mentioned like go to, here, do this, participate there, blase, blase. Our unity comes from, us participating and blah, 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 blah. So the thing is that you have to be saying, well, hey, Dr. Maulana Karenga tomorrow, or, later on, Mayana, the 14th. The 14th is Dr. Maulana Karenga's birthday. Happy birthday, Dr. Maulana Karenga. Yay. It's just the truth. His work, because I was like, well, I ain't going to fib to you. I'm not really trying to put a lot of emphasis on Kwanzaa as much as I want to focus on the Nguzo Saba. However, Kwanzaa is a celebration that is held every year between December 26th to January 1. Yes, they say January 1. Okay. So I'm like, okay, the Nguzo Saba, this will be the participation of us getting involved in our community, and what that conversation is that is aligned with Street Meat and the WWW. I'm optimistic. The thing is I just know that my walk, as I'm going here and there, I know I'm applying that team. You understand? So anyway, today I went to Mr. Aku. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, I don't understand why it looks like it's so difficult. People are out there doing certain things, and yes, they want people to get involved. But that's one thing, going to meetings. And you're going to meetings here, meetings there, and then here it is, and you're going to these meetings. It's not teaching you how to make money. It's not teaching you how to do this. And so this is where I look at true amelioration. True amelioration is the goal is to show us how to make money, okay, or how we generate income. So the question was, I'm going to have to go over here to that little stuff again. I went to the Black Team Marketing, the Tag Team Marketing, the Black Business Network, and they're providing me, information with Mr. Akua, Brother Akua. And, they were talking and, hey, in this line of business, he has to have it. It wasn't open-ended. It was open, okay? Where there's a continuum of what that relationship is. He said, okay, all right, I'll see you guys later. Here it is, he was providing an extension of whatever it was that he was communicating to maintain the relationship. And I thought that was a big plus. And when you look at them being a marketing company, they do just that, right? Yes. But but that's me giving them money. But it's not incorporate other people. You understand where I'm coming from? It's not incorporate other people the way that I see street meat. Okay? So the way that I see street meat, I'm asking, this is the question I'm asking. Don't get me misunderstood, but we have a lot of black-owned businesses that do make products, and it's just like when we look at certain things, why is it sheltered, Why don't they put some of their items here and there? And so what it was is that I actually was looking at this other company. You've got a lot of companies, when you're looking at online services and stuff like that, they literally go out. Let's use Avon for an example. Avon get products from this person, that person, and they have their own line of stuff. But whenever you're using these particular things as online, you would assume that it wouldn't matter what company would actually be trying to, sell their products. I mean, really, I'm like, wow, okay. Anyway, I'm just trying to understand that. Maybe I'm overlooking it. Maybe just like a look. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, I was there, and I see. I'm like, well, for me, I'm like, I ain't gonna fib to you. I'm like, is it because some people, where's people in their thought of unity? Well, it is surrounded by those things, the sustenance. That's what they need, resources, the nourishment, blessings. It's going to be nourishing. But then yet here it is, if you have somebody saying, look at her, that's right there, that's your team. And yet here it is, thing come around looking in a certain kind of way, that's my team. You know what I mean? Okay, and it doesn't look like, okay, now we have to make it look a certain kind of way. You understand? When I was traveling, I couldn't, dang, I'm going to go there. So now here it is, they want to associate our wealth something that is, hey, they talk about a bitch. I ain't going to fib to you. First of all, over this period of time, they even have, we're trying to protect this. Oh, oh, it looks good. And then yet those people, they did that and they participated with that. And then we're talking about the question will be, well, what is it that you assume that you're protecting? Now, when you're dealing with somebody and you fucking with somebody's livelihood, then at that point, that's an injustice. And this is why we have to look at certain things when it comes down to domestic violence. When you're looking at things that become a violation of our human, civil, and constitutional rights, now we're focusing on the kites, okay? Because somewhere in there, mean professional people, somewhere in there, why would we entertain that like it's okay? Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because, you know what, I was just listening to this man, he spoke a lot of truth, even though I wasn't paying him no attention. I spent a lot of time thinking that someone was listening to me that was there as assistance over a period of time. Here it is, I go travel, this is that and the other, I come, no, all that's irrelevant. What I realize is that even when you think somebody is listening to you, for a motherfucker to turn his back and see somebody be abused and they just look at him, bitch, you are a bitch. Oh, they're going to be pretentious. And yet the question was, any of these leaders, I know because they just want to entertain that man like that, because I ain't gonna fib to you, really. But listen, the thing is that when you look at the question was, me being where I am, yes, we're thankful that we have a system where we live, but I do not assume, excuse you. We have a lot of people out there doing farming. The question would be, them black farmers, you know how they're talking about that, what their money and all that kind of stuff? Let's just talk about the black farmers, okay? The black farmers. When I say farmers, I'm thinking about people who handle cattle, okay, who handle ponds and fishes too. You understand where I'm coming from? Do they have the capacity from a 1 mile radius from where I'm at right now? We can put it on Camp Creek, the 285 from 1 mile radius from the Camp Creek marketplace. Here it is, the black farmers feed all them people for an entire month. Have they, within 1 year, have they produced where they can feed, okay, come on, let's say 2 years. Because, when we look at perishable items, that stuff needs to be used and eaten, and you have to consume that, bless you. Hold on. What about eggs? Well, they got cattle and chicken and grooming them like that? From Camp Creek Marketplace. Do we have, here it is, the people, they talking about, well, we farmers. Oh, here it is, well, we're now know exist, and all we're doing that. And I'm like, you are? It's just a small question. And that question is right there on Camp Creek. Do we have the potential to feed wheat? So I ain't going to feel cheese. There'll be no reason to complain about the services that are being rendered. And here it is, even the access is blessings for us to try to excel. How many manufacturing companies do we really have? Listen, I don't bounce around all over the world. But let's talk about right here in the United States. See, what happened is that I did have an interest in the continent of Africa. And the reason why is because I was concerned about the GDP. Now, here it is. You've had all these people over a period of years, yes, the Europeans, and then also the other hands from not only the Europeans, but also the Asians has really kind of went over there just recently, even though they had maintained the Chinese relationships with certain people, but it was more on the subtle end, and it wasn't as heavily influenced. But over a period of years, what we realized, now hold on, when you talk about what you need to protect, that would be the relationship. Look, going over and find common and dang on contracts y'all people think y'all got. Okay? So anyway, the GDP, why those people were looking like they were looking. So we had to say something, well, everybody will put a focus on Africa. Africa, we're doing fine, blah, 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 blah. No one said they were not. Over a period of time, there has been some development there, and this, that, and the other. And yet here it is, the vibration of the earth like that. The sea, here it is, malnourishment and starvation. Did you ask me a question one more time about why you think fucking pumping nuts fatten them up? Now, we could go here, we could go there, but the question is, okay, wonderful. So we have people who go back and forth about that position in terms of the argument was for some of the New Yorkers. They was like, well, listen, we can focus on Africa. This is not me. This is real, true. And then we had some other people from some other coasts, and they didn't really put forth the interest in the African, in the African movement. So with a lot of development did take place, or some development took place in Africa that was needed. Infrastructure, man, it was just a lot of stuff. When people were traveling over there, they saw that they needed not only infrastructure, but you sitting here, there's that kingdom, and yet here it is, what we realize is that people calling them that's some backyard, and them look like that. Okay, hold up. Anyway, so what happened is, they had some development, but the people were saying, well, listen, we need to worry about our children or our people here in the United States, coast to coast, up and north and south and east and west, okay? And so I was like, okay, so I kind of backed off of that to, okay, well, let's just focus on America. So they were talking about, okay, well, here it is, our kids, they need some, this, Oprah went over there and built a school, too. And they wanted to say something about Oprah building the school. But yet we have a lot of celebrities, and they have a lot of bukus of dollars. And instead of that money look like it's rolling and circulating inside our communities, it is not. Okay? It is not circulating. We do not have a lot of people who volunteer as the Quato, or whatever the quota, or the comparison of most, or some, because it just depends. Because now when you start looking like that, do the Asians do it? Do the Indians do it? You know what I mean? So this is why when we look at the Google Saba, and you find people volunteering, because whatever they're picking up, they believe that it's their land. They believe that here it is, that belongs to them, even if it's in somebody else's yard. Why would you want your world to look dirty? Why you don't want to know about, here it is, the 6 elements of this earth, yet you want to go about yourself to assuming that here it is, somebody's running around with somebody's kingdom and motherfucking kingdom. What? Wow. Happy birthday, people. Then I went somewhere else. Anyway, I look at this, I apologize, excuse me, that I went somewhere else. Yes, my birthday is this month too. That I went somewhere else too. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, so anyway, they wanted, I'm listening to these people, they're like, oh, there's your kingdom. Oh, that's them. I'm like, who is them? Oh, look at her. Look how she looks. Oh, look, I know what they're thinking. I'm like, wow, really? Oh, okay. The thing is that for some reason they want me to assume that I think that whatever's going on, I'm okay with it. Oh, here it is. Well, we want to, so this is this. I just find it also, well, interesting. The truth. Or they want to expose you, but they want to shelter them. That's a lot of little balls right there. And I was listening to Eric Holder, and he said, well, he just realized that there's a whole lot of chickens. Wow. And then what does that mean? Everything is okay? So for some reason, they may have went, so why did they come over here bothering me? That'll be a question. And yet here it is, the sustenance that comes from me. They want to talk about, did it come from somebody else, from some Brahmins? I come from an intellectual scope. Things that I have learned along the way. But going back to the United States of America, we live here. And so the argument was, should we go over here? So why do we got folks from Latin America? The question will be, is how do we suppose we won't help us in other countries where here it is, their situation look like it looks, and they have human rights violations, and yet here it is, we don't want to argue, and the argument that we have even for people in their employment look like it look. I was traveling, and there was somebody who was working, and they said they had worked for months without getting paid. Then when you look at, here it is, the few pennies they get paid, and yet we got multinational businesses or multinational corporations inside of these various countries. Now you tell me, what do you think? But yet we got people who sitting here and sitting there. They're doing this, they're doing that. Tell you the truth. The question will be like, huh? That would be the answer. Like, well, how do we go Baba here? What's Baba head? What's a Baba head? I'm sorry, somebody just drove by and said something about some Baba head. What's a Baba head? I don't know what a Baba head is. But the thing is that what we do need to acknowledge is that, so I was like, well, listen, let's look at the structure, and let's look at, here it is. Well, actually, I was traveling. When I was traveling, I said, why do you think people volunteer and work paid, and people who they want to volunteer and need income, there's a big difference. People who are, out there and they're working, they feel like they want to get paid for their work. Do you blame them? No, not really. No, because the thing is, even as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, it's okay for me to feel like I want to pick up some trash here and pick up some things here and there. And, make a few phone calls for the community here and there. To tell you the truth, you're like, okay, well, you know that once you put in your work into those things, you want to receive resources, okay? I mean, you look at people who are working and they're doing certain things, whether it's hospitality or sales or service, yes, you want to be able to benefit from those things. But for a group of people to tell me that they have received, here it is, certain things, or they want to communicate, oh, well, here it is, well, this is our kingdom. I'm like, from whom? And here it is, they have capitalized and made money. Oh, well, you see this pot? Look at this pot. It's feeding all of them. No, you can't associate that thing with that when here this is already there. I find it how convenient they think that whatever they've done is okay. This is why I'm like, wow, those men that were involved with that? Oh, okay. Oh, well, here it is. They went and they test those people over there. They did this. Oh, well, here it is. We got these people. Oh, they're separate. We got this thought over here, that thought over there. Oh, well, we're going to keep this one back a daughter. Anyway, I realized that in the United States, there's yeah. In the United States, there's a lot of things to do here. You know, when I look at the relationship that we being a free people, with that consideration of our accesses to other countries, and then yet here it is, we don't have our stuff straight here when we talk about freedom and our liberty and our rights. And so I was looking at the thing, and they're talking about Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and somebody else. They were going to be talking over the immigration bill. And I ain't going to fib to you. I'm like, honey, I'm surprised that we're not on immigration. So I have this paper, and they're talking about immigration. And what they were speaking about was, I think they used Belarus. And then what they were showing, and then here it is, they also talk about this man in Tibet. But they were fair-skinned. You know, and what happened is George Bush, he had approved, before he left out of office, George Bush had approved maybe about 6 or 7 European countries full free access into the United States. But then we saw that the Cubans, even though they had settled over into Florida and they were riding on the boat, and then we also had the Haitians, the accesses for Onyx countries. I mean, what happened to that? He could have approved some African countries. Okay? No, not the ones on the north end or the one on the tip of the south, which goes into Russia. No, not them. But I'm talking about, African countries. Okay? I'm talking about where here it is, Onyx people. Okay? So when we look at certain relationships and when we start looking at certain things and we start looking at these things where they want to talk about segregation or how these group of people went over there, oh, well, here this, we were talking about what if this one happened over here? Oh, here it is, look at these people, they're going over here. Oh, look at those people there. Ha, 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 ha. Now we must question what that is. So I'm going to just let y'all know right now, half of these folks probably are not traveling. Did you know we really didn't travel like that, for especially the women? We traveled, but a lot of people really didn't pick up traveling until Stella got her groove back. Remember that? And I was like, well, even though we had come into America, if it was all like that, honey, we would find a lot more folks traveling back and forth to Africa, which they should have already did that. We should have already achieved a lot of stuff prior to that. Okay? So anyway, wow, really? So, I don't know. I guess you can work some things out, and so we talk about structure. And so there's like, oh, here, some of these people, they want to, they want to come around when things are already fixed. And I said, well, we got a lot of things that's already structured and set up. That things is already structured and set up. You know what I mean? Okay. But what does that mean? So Nguzo Saba, again, people, focuses on community and the relationships, not only with ourselves and our family, okay, but also our community, local, state, region, federal, and global community, okay? It relies on the many people that contribute to it being an effective structure, okay? Thanks for joining Street Meet the Point. We do value your support. You can please visit our website, www.streetmeet.biz, and our Connect partner, www.meetup.com/streetmeet. I ain't going to fib to you, honey. I'm just doing what I can. It's just the truth. I don't know what bobblehead means, but I'm sorry. I don't know what those people thought, but the way that I see it is, hey, there was, in terms of employment, in terms of these things, those are my interests. Anything else, I don't know. I don't know what your bobblehead is. Anyway, have a good night. Irene Ratliff. Yay! My name is Irene Ratliff. I don't know about the other stuff, okay? TTYL.